Hello and welcome to Life Clarifications with Natasha. I'm here to help you have an understanding of a lot of different things. And I use my psychic abilities to know things. And my psychic abilities are here to support you. And actually, I'm just getting told here I need to go live on YouTube channel or my Instagram channel here. So I'm going to do that real quick. And I apologize because I usually try to get this set up beforehand and I didn't. So here I go. And it's really easy actually. Okay. So here I go. And welcome. So with that I am here to negotiate life and its knowings in my psychic ability here, like I just said. And I am very much excited to talk about something that a lot of people are kind of curious about right now because of the fact that we've just had some oh, what do you want to call it? Things that they had to shoot down here in the United States. And, and people were wondering, is that star being stuff? Is that kind of stuff? And so I've been having some conversations, like I said in my thing, but I didn't announce this on my YouTube channel here or my Instagram channel. So I apologize if I'm just throwing this to you. But yet at the same time, we're going through this time where star beings are very much in the knowing. And some people call them aliens, some people I just call them star beings because of the fact they're like fairies to me. Fairies are the star beings of our property, or they're star beings of of our earth, right? And then we have the angels, which they are their own form of star beings. We have, and these are okay. So what I'm going to speak of is a truth that I know, a truth that I am of knowing, and I want to give a perspective here. So I'm going to talk about, things that are in our skies, right? The things that we know. And me being a psychic medium, and I can tell you though that I have been a star being in a past life. So I work on my past lives to know a lot of these things. And yet at the same time, I do see. Well, and see as a perspective, because a lot of us intuitives, we see things in a different way. We see things in a knowing. So some of us may see things in our mind's eye. Some people will see with their real eyes. Some people will see, and I have a knowing seeing. And so with that I do see things logistically with my eyes. I do. I can see when energy is off. I can see when there's, like, let's say, a dark being in a room. I can see those things, right? But at the same time though, that I do see starships out there, but I have a knowing that they're there because a lot of them cloak themselves, right? They cloak who they are. And I thought that, since there are more and more out there, Skywalker Ranch, we have a lot of these, shows that are out there, that are negotiating and that kind of stuff. So going forward in the story of who we are, me being one who understands them, and actually I've been, we go through having new guides. We have new knowings of ourselves, new guides that help us to support us. So we get new angels, we get new guides. Well, I have a new guide, and he's a star being, and his name is Jupiter. Imagine that, right? But his name is Jupiter. And Jupiter here is one that has really been connecting with me and connecting me to a lot of the energies of the star beings. And he and I come from a home planet. And I understand, if you go to my YouTube channel, last week's show was talking about my beginning of life as a soul. And so if you go to my Natasha Venter Angelic Clarifications YouTube channel, on the last show last Wednesday, I didn't feel like I could do this over Instagram, but I felt like I could do it. And so with that when I went on, I talked about how that those stories come forward. And hi, Sue, she's on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. It's time to realize oneness extends beyond earth. It does. Oneness does extend beyond Earth because the fact that we have a lot of us guides have star beings, and I can tell you that I was talking to a fellow teacher because I do some work in a school, elementary school in the morning, and some of them know about me, right? And so I was talking to her, and I was saying that, yeah, this student here and this student here is a star being, and they're really trying to realize how to be on this earth in human bodies. And so we have these onenesses with our souls, with our knowings, even if we don't know it. And so going there, that the star beings that have been talking to me have been amazing about our timelines. Why are we here? What are we seeing things? And then I have a friend who passed away. Oh, it was Septemberish, Octoberish of last year, and he was really connected with the star beings. He would go off into in Washington State. If you go on the eastern side of the mountains, that we have like a desert, and so he would go out in the desert, the coulees, and watch the star beings because it was so active. And we have actually several stations, I'm going to call them stations here in the Northwest that the star beings like to come in. And, so with that there are these different platforms we're at. And I can tell you that me knowing in a past life, which I'm very connected with my past life, so I can see them like that. And they're like, it's like switching on and off or switching into another room for me. And so with that I see myself and have known myself, not a meditation, just a knowing that, sitting on a spaceship watching the earth being made. And with that knowing of watching the earth being made, I know where the channels are. Like there's a big hub of star beings down in South the, the Antarctica, I think it is. And then there's another, and then there's a channel that goes through to the northern pole, right? And then there's different avenues, like Skywalker Ranch is a big hub there. And, there's these different places that we have. China is another one with the mountains there. I can't name them all. There's another one in South America, or in Africa, kind of in the Kenya area, the middle area there. And there's a couple over in Northern Europe, in Norway-ish, the northern there. And so there's these different places. See, I'm just tapping into them. So with that there are these different sub hubs, oceans. Oh my gosh, oceans. Those are huge too. So is are there any hubs in Idaho? I would say yes, because a lot of the hubs have um, either a mountain or they have something that they can go into a little bit easier. So if you notice, like the ones in the ocean, they kind of go in where there are channels, big channels where there's, I'm going to call them mountains in the ocean. And so, yes, in Idaho, there are, it's more by the Canadian border than it is southern Idaho. Actually, down in where the volcano is, it just left my head. It, oh, what is that big volcano? It's a big, it's on the corner of Idaho, Montana, and yeah, oh yeah, it's a big yeah, I know what it's called. It's a big somebody tell me please. I lost the name of it because I'm sitting out there in the star beings. So with that, the sometimes when I tap into things, I lose words. It's the big park that has the big volcano that if it goes up, it would uh it's the geyser, the one with the geyser, exactly. And so that if it goes up, it would be Yellowstone. Is it Yellowstone Park? Yellowstone? Um, yeah. So with that we have all these places where there's hubs of things. And so with that one, that's not necessarily a hub, but it's a big I'm going to call it steam stack for what's going on in the center earth. And so with that a lot of our volcanoes are big, like like if you were in a big steam or a big factory, you would have to have your big chimneys to express the energy. And that's what our volcanoes are those expressions. And yes, there is lava. Yes, there's this natural part of earth that is there, but yet at the same time, it's really made up of metals and different things, kind of like our moon is. And so with that my truths are my truths. I just want to give a perspective here. So if you are going, what is she saying? Well, my intuitiveness, my knowings from past lives and all that kind of stuff, I have been an extremely old soul. And so there's old souls and that's it. I am been an extremely old soul. So I have a lot of knowings in this lifetime that have been a collection of other lifetimes. And so with that we're going through these new knowings because our earth is going through a big update. And yes, there's been a lot out there about the matrix system. Yes, we're in a matrix system. Yes, we have a matrix system over us. We are in a kind of like I don't want to say an experiment because that's belittling our world here. But yet at the same time, we are in a matrix. Like for me right now, I am doing a show in three other dimensions at the same time I'm doing this one. Now there's different responsibilities and different interactions and different, you know, in different ones. My body is dealing with different things in different dimensions because I chose not to do it in this dimension. So we have these different dimensions, right, in different places. The thing is, though, going forward, that dealing with the star beings and dealing with who we are, that we're coming up into a bigger knowing. We're going to be seeing that our world is changing. And that's why we're having so many emotional problems. That's why a lot of us humans are leaving the planet. We've always had big exits, so it's just been about the upgrading and the upknowing of where we're at. And so with that going forward in our dance of who we are, that this moving forward and going forward is a process of being. So if anybody's watching me on Twitter, I cannot get your comments, and so if you are watching, can you please switch it over to my YouTube channel, Natasha Venter Angelic Clarifications, and then you can make a comment. Okay, you can also catch me on Facebook too. I'm thinking. So hi, man on the moon. Welcome to my show today. Hey, Natasha, how are you doing? Isn't the cosmos entirely alive, made up of energy, spirit, and light? It is totally alive. Oh my gosh, okay, I gotta word this so that people can understand. If we know and saw exactly what was out there, our brains would explode. We are seeing a filtration system so that our realities can handle it. Our knowings, our mind can handle it. Because not everybody is on this planet to experience the reality of what's there. We have different jobs, we have different applications, we have different ways of living on this planet right now. And the reasons for coming here is to experience emotions. It is to experiencing enlightenment. Our soul is here to grow emotionally and physically. Like the angels always say, and yes, there is angels, they just they love us humans because we're human and we can stretch and pull and we can grow extraordinarily in our emotional base because we experience them, right? Sue says on my YouTube channel, my star family has been making themselves known in my healing sessions lately. Yes, I wonder if they will help me and other healing one day. Help me heal others. Yes, they are. Um, so I kind of stubbled that up a little bit, but so she's basically saying, is her star family going to help her do some healing? Yes, and there's a lot of near death experiences that people are going through to expand our knowing, because the more that we talk about it, the less 3D world we're going to be in. And that's why so many people are coming into new knowings, is because in order to enlighten our world, we have to get bigger than the situations. So in other words, it's like, yes, like me dealing with a student today who is a kindergartner who, was struggling with, he struggles with OCD. He struggles with one two threes, and I got him, because he was doing something that he shouldn't be, got him out of his one two threes, and so he started spinning. Well, that's his reality. Yes, and that's his emotional reality. Yet at the same time, we have to get bigger than that moment, and that's what I was helping him through, was that one moment, because it wasn't necessarily his one, two, threes, but it was him learning that there was a bigger expression. So even though he started tapping someone's bike with a rock, I took the rock out of his hand because that was not respectful of the person's rock. That is dealing with the 3D world. It's dealing with what we need to deal with today. We need to deal with what is happening in front of us. Because if we get too caught up in what's happening in our matrix, we're going to lose track of today. And today is important. I don't care really if I'm living in a matrix, because I know I chose to be here to deal with my emotions, to deal with what I needed to learn, to help those around me, you, know what's out there. Yet at the same time, am I getting caught up in the matrix? No. Am I getting caught up? No. I had to pull out meat for dinner. Right? I still have to deal with the logistics. And that's what we need to get, that understanding that even though our cosmos, the outside spirit, the outside planets, oh my gosh, if you knew the freeways that were in space, oh my gosh, it is so busy. That's why airplanes, that's why the starships, they're seeing things. Right? Because it's hard not to cloak. It's hard to cloak, know when to cloak everybody, right? So as we're going forward and negotiating the stories of our world, that we need to really stand up and be in the moment of where we're at. And that's why we're here, is be in the moment we're at. Yet at the same time, like Jupiter says, my guide here says that, it is about knowing the outside story so we can come inside more. I'm getting chills with that one. Knowing the outside story so we can come in and do and be here. Because I can tell you, I channel better being with my body, because I'm a channeler, than being outside my body. If I'm so distracted with outside my body, and even my naturopath, she was saying, Natasha, you have a way of negotiating your body a whole lot better than any of the intuitives I know, because the fact that I listen to it, I negotiate with it, right? Which helps you negotiate your world. So going forward, our star beings, the reason why they're uncloaking to certain people, because if one knows about it and talks about it, it makes it okay with two people. And if two people know about it, then five people know about it, right? And if five people know about it and start understanding about it, 10 people know about it. And if 10 people know about it, then you see the ripple effect? So the easiest way to shift our knowings is 1, 10, 20, 50, 100 people at a time, right? Do you know if recent UFOs that were shot down were actual star being crafts? I don't think they were. I really don't think they were. I really think, honestly, that they were man-made. They were how do I put this? They were man-made. They were you know, it's not the first time that things have been floating around in our skies. They just are trying to, everything is about distraction. And that's a loose word to say something that I'm trying to say behind the scenes. So, with that going, thank you. I was aware that there was a misinformation out there. Yes, there is. Is my star family going to present themselves to me soon? Veronica says. Okay, so let me go to Sue. Yes, and no, there isn't the misinformation out there. There is information out there, and as we get more information, there's going to be the old style of wanting to cover it up, and then there's going to be the new knowing. Now, there might have been one out of the 10 that are out there that were star being people, but frankly, really, unless they wanted to be a teacher for us, they're not going to let themselves be known, right? So, Veronica, you said, is my star family going to be present soon for me? Um, I would say yes, but they're going to come in the form of like Jupiter did to me in a minute meditation. And they're going to know. So, like for me in my meditation, I do a point where I go and sit on a bench and I walk my soul and I walk down to that bench metaphorically in my meditation, and then whoever's there, and it's been Jupiter about 4 or 5 times. So he's been helping me to connect a little bit deeper. I've always been connected to star beings, but it's a different scenario because we're in a different time, right? So yes, they will, but I would look for them more in meditation, because they like to come to you. It's just you're very distracted with your life right now, and that's an honor that they're giving you. Okay, so Man in the Moon says yes. There's always been real problem after all, living outside my body. Thank you. That's what I have to work on. You're welcome. And thank you, Veronica. Yes, that's the thing that a lot of us spiritual beings, we get to know what's out there, but we forget to be here in our bodies. And that is a struggle that people get into. That's a struggle that people get into, is they get so distracted by the outside world that they forget to be with their bodies. And that's, if you talk to any star being, any angel, any knowing being, they always talk about being with the body, not being distracted by the body, not being pelted by the body, like I've been watching little short videos on, and the more I'm watching, they're getting more inspirational, and different places, and the Dalai Lama says, when guy asks, there's a lot of people dealing with anxiety. So there's and the Dalai Lama says it's about, when you get into anxiety and that angst feeling, it's because we're so into the I. We're so into the, well, I have problems with this and I have problems with that, and I don't like this, and this is something I don't want to deal with, and this is something the I that is selfish, the I that is the inner child, the I that doesn't understand, the I that is stuck in old times, right? That's the anxiety, because there's a lot of energy out there. And the more we be with our body, not I with the body, but be with the body, we understand what energies are ours and what energies are someone else's. Like my naturopath got me on something to help with my cortisol, which is the stress hormone, right? And so I can sleep better. Well, I'm not stressed out. I don't really get stressed out. Yeah, I get things that happen to me that trigger my old patterns, trigger my emotions sometimes. Yeah, but I work through the stress of it. But there's a lot of stress out there. And so, me being an energy being, I tend to hold a little bit of that on. And this, even though I do my clearings, do my singing bowl, ring a bell, clap around me, smudge, whatever I need to do, that a lot of times my body ends up caring a little bit because I care. I care for my fellow man. I care for my fellow my planet. I care about the people around me, right? And so when we're going through our life and going through our emotions, that many times there is these places where we got to go into being. So do you think that I go to the star beings? Do I go to Jupiter? No, he is able to come to me and meet me at my bench. And my bench is right here with me, right? So with that remember, if we're going to channel and that kind of stuff, we don't go to them, they come to us. So star beings are going to be coming to us more and more. They're going to start letting themselves be known, right? Skywalker Ranch is another show that's coming on that's really going to be bringing it up. And I was talking with a friend the other day about the covenant, the ark of the covenant that how that is said to hold the 10 commandments in them. My friend and I were talking, and he was like going, "Is that an energy field? Because there's reports of people getting radiation when they carry it." And I checked in and I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "There's more than one, isn't there?" And I said, "Yes, there's like 10, 12, 12. I'm hearing 12. There's 12. One of them is in Skywalker Ranch." Well, if you hear, if you've been watching Skywalker Ranch, people are getting radiated. Well, I can tell you that platform there, that hub that's at Skywalker Ranch or that area of that it is part of the what's the word? The hub, and it's pretty close to the surface, right? It's pretty close to the surface. Not because of any ill effects, but remember how really nobody was in that area for a longest time, right? It was pretty desolate. It was the First Nation, the Native Americans, that came onto that planet. Well, onto that part of the land. Well, what did they do? They honored the system. They talked with the star beings. They knew where to go. They knew where not to go, right? Why do you think there's skywalkers on that land? Because it easily helps them transform because it's a magical place, right? So when we're going forward in this knowing, we're going to be seeing them more. And if you haven't seen them yet, don't worry, because that is part of the evolution of our knowings. It's part of that evolution of our knowings. Our brain has to comprehend what's happening. Now, I can tell you, I've been grateful. My body and my brain have been able to negotiate my knowings easily. They have always been that way. That has been part of my contract coming into this world, was that my body and my mind were able to negotiate really well with my knowings. So nothing surprises me. If somebody mentions something, now because of the fact that my intuitiveness was gained by my knowings, I didn't read it. I have not necessarily listened to anything. Yes, there's a couple of interactions that I have listened to because the fact that I know something, but it gives me language for what I know. Does that make sense? So I don't necessarily read my knowings. I know my knowings. I've witnessed my knowings. I've gotten into the ability of understanding my knowings. So as we're going forward and doing our walk, that the star beings are very much here. Now, are there good and bad star beings? Definitely. Are they here for our better good? Yes and no. Are we part of their matrix system? Yes, is my language. So, talking with my friend, like I mentioned, I've been talking with my friend Michael. He passed in October of last year, and he was very connected with the star beings. And he's been coming to me lately, talking with me about this journey because he was a star being himself. And as he's been saying to me, I'm asking him to come in right now as I'm talking here, that I, he's saying that yes, there's a matrix system. He says that that the matrix system is just beyond our our dome, the earth that we're under. Okay. He also is saying that that's why time is being elusive right now. Why you may walk out the door at 9:50, let's say, and you get in your car and you start driving and it's already 10:30. Time is getting elusive because they're shifting that time. And that's what I always say is that let me be on time in human timing and universal timing so that I can be more in tuned because there is the logistics of the clock. Like if we need to be in an interview, we need to be there at time, right? If we need to be at a certain place, we want to honor the people there, right? So there is the logistics of the logistic clock, but at the same time the time is changing, right? So there's that. So Sue says you keep saying Skywalker Ranch. Are you meaning Skinwalker Ranch in Utah? Skinwalker Ranch. Yes. Thank you. Skinwalker. I apologize. Skywalker, Skinwalker. So the skies are busy in Skinwalker Ranch. Thank you. Because there are some skinwalkers on there, and I apologize. My dyslexia has been turned on lately, so I've been struggling a little bit with my language. Like I was at school saying one thing and I meant the other, and the student said, "Did you mean on instead of in?" And I go, "Yes, thank you." My brain said in, but my mouth said on, and I apologize. So with that, so yes, thank you, Sue, very much for giving me the gift of you and your way you do not judge. Sue has helped me with my dyslexic knowings and my writing, so thank you. I'm grateful for you. Uh, she does it without judgment. I love her. So going forward and in our dance, that if you're not seeing any star beings, don't worry, you will. Sometimes we have to see it through other people's knowings, videos, that kind of stuff. So on Skinwalker Ranch, right? On Skinwalker Ranch, that they have been finding, and some people have been electrocuted, or I mean, radiated, and some of them have had vibrational changes. And also, too, there's also like if you're going up in the sky, that there's like an area which is not. Um, where it's not, what's the word? It has different energy. Like if they shoot a rocket up, it'll deflect off of it. It'll deflect off of that, and that's part of the matrix going up. And so when we're talking about the star beings and how our Earth is made, that it's thank you, man on the moon, for see you soon, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate you giving your impressions of life, because you have a great way of putting it, and thank you for doing that, because some many times what you're saying is like, that's what I've been seeing, that's what I know. You give me language. Thank you. So with that, going forward in our knowings, that's why we're in this big, I'm going to call it it's kind of like a turntable, or like a big drum, kind of like you're doing bingo. We feel like we're in this big drum is because of the fact that we're being shooken up so that we can become our lighter, better selves. So that we know that these little scenarios, yes, our bodies are being upgraded. That's why sometimes we're having situations ringing in the ears, dizziness, headaches, knee problems, feet problems, because those knee and feet problems are about grounding, right? They're about getting on this earth. But then logistically, our head is trying to negotiate the new energies, and so we're being given these different scenarios so that our bodies can be upgraded. So when you're having problems with your body parts, ask for it to be upgraded with grace and ease, upgraded with new knowings. Let the like if somebody has surgery, I would say that you're getting rewired for the new knowings of your body. And so hallelujah, go for it, right? Going into these knowings of why we're here because of the fact that we are part of the star system and we're part of the matrix, yet at the same time though, like I said before, we're learning how to be in this body, in this knowings, and we're here to do the emotions, we're here to be in the process. Like the Egyptians, you see that they have these carvings on their walls about talking about people on fiery ships and stuff like that. So the star beings have been here before, but we logistically kind of slipped backwards in our knowings and they cloaked us. That's part of the veil system, right? Like I was watching something today and she was mentioning about the veil, and that is part of the veil system, is us to be cloaked so that we don't see the fairies, we don't see the knowings. Like over in Scotland, they talk about fairies like they're the next door neighbor, right? Because their veil is thinner there. That's why for me, dealing with the fairies, I have a little, hub over here that I deal with fairies. They're, like I said, they're part of the star beings on our planet. So going forward and being who we are, the more we notice outside of us, please remember to come back home. Because the matrix is about being home. The star beings is about being home. And when I talk to my friend Jupiter, my star friend, he's not very tall at all. He's almost like on the fae side. But even some of the fays, the gnomes and the elvens and that kind of stuff, they're pretty tall. They're pretty bulky, right? But they're tall. But at the same time, though, they are part of the system here, and that veil is going to be getting thinner and thinner. And as that veil thins, the more we're going to see things in our skies. We're going to see more in our knowings. And so going forward with that B part is that that's why I'm going to ask you that when there are troubles, stay on the lighter side if you can. Be inspiring. I know that that misery loves company, as the saying goes. And I know that, like in the elementary school that I work in, misery is liking company. And, the students are having a very hard time being in the old school system. They're actually finding their own, inspirations. And, the only way that they're going to learn is to do life, right? Because they think they know better to do better. And it's getting younger and younger that they know more than us. There's a lot of old souls that do know. There is a lot of old souls that do know, but they have to learn to be in the human body. And sometimes it's hard to be in the human body when you're an old soul or you're a knowing soul. There's a third grader that she's very much a star being, and she's talked to the matrix about the matrix with me. I have to be careful how I say it, right? And like today I was reading with a couple students and we were talking about dragons. And I asked one of them, "Do you think dragons are real?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "I do too." So waking up little by little, waking us up little by little. But remember that, being here, like I have someone who's watching now that she works with laughter, right? And laughter is the fastest thing to bring us back to our body. So when we're laughing, we're more in the body than ever. You talk about a channeler, get them laughing or hold on to their feet if they can't come back to their bodies, because that is part of, and peeing. It's a process where you come back to your body. So being who we are and knowing who we are is the reason why we're here. Now, living in the matrix is part of the system of of believing that there's something greater than us, right? Believing that there's something greater than us. Because I can tell you that, like, if you watched, oh, it just went out of my head. It's part of it's part of the movies. Doctor Strange. Thank you. Grateful for that input. Doctor Strange. And his last movie about going from different dimensions to different dimensions. So right on. Not even funny how right on it is, right? Now it's movieized, but yet so right on. And that's what I have done. But I know that these different dimensions are right here, right? I can reach out and touch it. It's thick. It's thicker, right? And I know that there's something going on that me, Natasha's in that other bot in that other place, right? Because when our soul is not fully here. It's a portion of our soul, just like my soul is in the other dimensions around me. And there's like about 100 of them, right? And I can go crazy tapping into them. But what am I doing? I'm coming back here, living in this one, just like I'm asking them to negotiate their dimensions and their knowings. But I can tell you that if they need something from me, I'm willing to help them. And if they have something I can use, I have them help me. Hmm. Have you thought about doing that with your dimensional partners? Just food for thought, right? Food for thought. Because of the fact that we're all in this big idea, there has to be something out there better than us. There has to be something greater than us. I can tell you though, we are doing the evolution, the increasing of our knowings through the humanness that we are to become a greater species. Now, we got some logistics of people, things that think that we aren't that way. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yet at the same time, we're going to negotiate this. So, going forward, I want you to know that yes, we're in a matrix. Yes, there's star beings. Yes, beyond our matrix, there is a freeway, and the the skies beyond our dome, I'm using that as a quotation marks, that those places, I mean, it's just, it's amazing how busy they are. And you ask, how come the the thing that we sent to Mars and stuff like that, the rover, didn't see it? Because there's filters on those cameras. There's filters on those cameras. Because I can tell you that our government knows more than they're telling us, because they have to in a way. They're a little slow in the working, kind of like our school system, a little slow in the working. Love yourself. That is the greatest thing, because you talk to anybody who goes into the light and has a near death experience, they always go back to the greater, the creator, divine love, which is the greatest gift. There's no words. There's no words to that love. You can't you can't put words on it because it's limiting it. So know that there's something out there greater than us to hold us in light. And that's what we're meant to be. That's why we're here, is to get through our personal darkness to get to the greater light. Trust the process. Trust what you're seeing if you see something out the corner of your eye. And trust that there is darkness, but check in with your own darkness first before you start blaming the other darknesses. because of the fact that we're here to lighten ourselves. We're here to lighten ourselves. And I can tell you, me doing house blessings, I see darknesses in properties. But I can tell you that a lot of times it's what we bring in because of our thoughts and our knowings, or previous thoughts and knowings of other people, like apartments and stuff like that. So believe in who you are, believe in what you know. And remember, if we are in the matrix system, the more we get caught up in that matrix system, we lose track of us being. That's where you're meant to be, is be with you. We're human in a human body having experience, a spiritual experience in a spiritual knowing. And sometimes our humanness needs to be updated so we can be an enlightened spiritual being. Bring in divine love. That's the only truth that there is. And be with you. My love is with you. I think it's time to pull an oracle card. So I'm down to the last 15 minutes here. If there's anybody who would like an oracle card, please let me know. Who wants to come out? Gentle creatures are talking. So gentle creatures would like, if you want an oracle card, I can only do about 3 of them. So an oracle card on Instagram, if you would like one too. What you do is that you tell me which ones you want, and then you just put an intention out there. You don't have to tell me what you're thinking, and I'll pull a card. Another one is the Path of the Soul. These cards are beautiful. These cards are beautiful. So Veronica wants a gentle creature. So these are also out there. These are the Path of the Soul. These are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. As I was talking, oh, look at that one. Isn't that beautiful? So these are out there. Thought the star beings. Okay, so Veronica spoke up first. So you want a gentle creature. So I'm gonna clear these cards. Angels be, guidance be, let the message be for Veronica. Okay, Veronica, put out your intentions. Something you would like, something you would like to know, and then let that message come forth. Woo. Okay. So one card is pause. Another one is a beacon. And another one is connections. Connections. So I'm not going to read all of them, but I can tell you intuitively what I'm getting is that when, I know Veronica and I are good friends, so I know what she's saying. So it's time to pause and take a moment and not get caught up in the life around you if you can. Even though grief is starting to tap you big time, that spend some time breathing is important. So pause, as this creature is smelling the flower, and you see the light coming down on him. So pause into that moment. That will help you. Then they'll be able to send you a beacon to get you out of your personal storm. There's also 3 beings here at the same time. And so with that stand together, as I've read this card, is that, when we stand together, we have better help. So remember that this is a time, and if these cards are just for Veronica, but they may be for somebody else too. So if we stand alone, we get tossed around in the storm, right? But if we stand with each other, we are a beacon for the greater good. Right? As this, as a bird comes down and says, there is hope. There is hope. So stand together. Don't stand alone, and be at peace with who you are. because there are connections that are coming to you to support you. You're on solid earth. You are solid in who you are. And sometimes the messages will come in small ways, small butterflies. But see how the being is kind of litten up in the dark? So know that these connections will help you through the darkness. I hope that helps you, Veronica. Is there anybody else who would like a card? I'm sorry I didn't read those. I didn't have, uh, that would have been a lot of reading. And I've read these cards quite a bit, so that's basically what it was meaning. So is there anybody else who would like a card? You're more than welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna do uh, Path of the Soul um, for the connector. I mean, for everybody here. So as I put it out there, this is a card for the collective. So this one would be for everyone. Intuitively pulling a card for everyone. Woo! I think that one fell. Ooh, look at this one. Isn't that pretty? Talk about a matrix. Wow. And it's not called a matrix. That's what we're calling it because of that movie, but it gives a good description of it. What is it called? The seer? The knower? It's kind of like an ultimate computer, is what I'm kind of getting. We'll call it the matrix to make it easy. So this card here, so I'm going to read this one. This is 31, which is a 4, which is about inner growth, I think. 31. Joyous. Joyous. The colors of pink and green signify the opening of the heart chakra to deeper and more profound joy. Embrace this shift occurring within you. As you do, allow for the childlike wonder and amazement to fill your part of your being. You deserve to feel the bliss and happiness. You have done the work. You have made the effort. Now it's time to simply enjoy all that life has to offer. And I can tell you, isn't that true? That the more we have enjoyment, for me, like I was cleaning my part of my house up, going through very old stuff, came across my writings that my dad, my mom did, and they've been gone now almost 30 years. And what did I do? I had music on that was joyous, was joyful. So we can contradict negative or the heavier with lighter. You know, have the confident, have that knowing. Okay. So welcome everyone. And I do hope this conversation was helpful because star beings, our star friends, our star family, our star guides, that includes angels, fairies, fae, and a few other beings, like Sasquatch and some of these creatures from other dimensions that are popping in. That's part of the veil that's thinning is our knowings to see these things, to be with these things, to honor these things. So please honor these new things popping in because they're here to honor us. We also are here to grow emotionally, physically, and spiritually, not about religion, inner personal growth, to lighten ourselves to our greater self. So, like I've been telling some people around me, find a purpose, come back to center, find your purpose, the understanding of why you're in a situation to help yourself to move forward. That might help you deal with something that doesn't always feel quite right to do, right? Kind of like some teachers that are dealing with very strong very strong kid emotions. They don't know if they want to be teachers. So I've asked them, come back to center yourself, come back to your knowings, find your individual purpose, then move forward. You never know why you're in a certain place, right? You never know. So if you like this conversation, or if you like other conversations on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook channel, please like, please subscribe, please tell others about this channel so that they can find inspiration, as I have many short videos and inspirational quotes daily on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And then I have many videos, over 400, on my YouTube channel of short inspirational videos and these shows. Like on Monday, we talked on the Dance of Soul, we talked about, what did we talk about? Oh, see, time is changing. That seems like 3 years ago already. Forgiveness and love. We talked about forgiveness and love. How can we move forward? Forgiveness and love. So please like, share. And if you know somebody who likes podcasts, this will be on a podcast, Life Clarifications with Natasha. Blessings to you. I am and Regan are live Mondays at 4 o'clock Pacific time. And Wednesdays is Natasha Venter, Life Clarifications. I this weekend am on the radio on Martha Norwalk's Animal World. It's kknw.com. kknw1150.com on the radio. And I do animal communication there. So if you're looking for any specific things, I do private sessions. I'm an animal communicator. I'm a medium, psychic medium. I do a lot of health work. I can work with the body. I see things in the body. So I have a lot of knowings, past lives, DNA work. I hope to help you. Blessings to all. See you on Monday. And or if you want to have a free reading on the radio on Sunday, you can call in. Bye now. Look on my Facebook channel for information about that. Bye now.